That's 14 straight scoreless innings for you. What's been working?
I thought the fastball, in and out and up was pretty good. There's some things I have to work on, but committing the fastball and then trusting my defense, they made a lot of good plays for me. Getting off the field with 2 outs and just staying with it, I think.
With that fastball, what's been the key for you in terms of locating it?
Just throwing it to the glove. I think in catch play, I'm really focused on that right now, and staying behind it, and just trusting it's going to go where it's going to go.
What's the plan today to start with some sliders and then mix in the curveball later on?
Yeah, I think it was just seeing what the hitters told us early. I didn't think that they were on fastball, and I think later that opened up curveball and changeup a little more. And I think we defended the bunt game. They tried to bunt once, I think, and then they stopped in the run game. They got that one bag, but I think getting off the field with 2 outs was huge.
Do you think at this point in the season the pitching staff is really hitting a stride and coming into your own?
Yeah, I think my job was to set the tone for the weekend, and then I was just putting up as many zeros as I could, and then we finally broke through in the fourth, fifth, or the fifth, sixth, and the seventh. And then my job was to preserve the lead at that point, and then Christian came in, and Christian looked really good. So I think for us, it's staying the course. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. So that's what we're really focused on.
I mean, coming into the year, you'd only thrown 13 or 14 competitive innings in college. Just how much of this has been a learning process for you this season, and just where do you feel you're at from maybe start of SEC play to now?
Yeah, I'm always optimistic, and I always want to learn things. So the more I pitch, I think the better I am. And right now, it's learning hitters' swings, especially in at bats. I think for myself, there's some things that go on, especially the past couple of games, where I read a swing and then I decide that pitch I want to go with, and trusting Coach Yeski. But the more I pitch, I think the better I am 100%, just knowing the swings and stuff like that.
How much input do you have on the pitch selection? Like, is there times where you'll kind of wave off a pitch and say I like this swing for this guy?
It's usually maybe once or twice a game. And I think tonight it was maybe once, but most of the time, yes, he calls it down, and I'm down with it. But yeah, most of the time it's him, and I trust the pitch.
Did it work tonight?
Yeah, I think from a stuff standpoint, I didn't feel amazing, but at this point, it doesn't matter. And like I said, my job was to put up zeros, and I think me and Christian did a good job of that.
Glenn just asked about SEC competition and how much that sort of maybe not affected you, but how much of an adjustment that's been. What's the thing that sort of surprised you the most about facing SEC hitters?
I think the past 2 games we played there's a lot of short game, so just preparing for that. I think coming from UCLA, that was huge. We tend to deal with that a lot, but I mean the hitters here. What I found out is throwing multiple pitches in the zone, and especially starting the game off, and then later in the game kind of switching things up a little bit. Keeping them off balance is kind of the key to success that I've seen.
Has a lot of that have to just having to mix pitches and not just mix them, but throw them in the zone? Is that a lot to do with just the depth of all of the lineups and the fact that it's just harder to get through lineups 2 or 3 times when there's a really good hitter hitting 7th, for example?
I think just kind of understanding what they're looking for, seeing guys are going to ambush early, and being able to throw something like a fastball or like a changeup where it looks like a fastball, and being able to execute that is how you're successful. So, and then again, tonight, I wasn't able to execute that sometimes, but then I was able to go in and out with my fastball, which is basically like another pitch. So if I can command that with my other 3 pitches, I think we'll be in a good spot.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like you're very critical of yourself. Is that something that you've always sort of been? You've been just very, on top of everything you do?
Yeah, baseball's what I want to do the rest of my life, so I take pitching very seriously.
2 more for Gage.
How much do you pass along from tonight to
I think Luke's going to be in a really good spot. I threw a lot of fastballs tonight, and I think, especially to some of the hitters, you can kind of tell where they're not looking for the ball. And I think with Luke, he's able to throw his slider really well, his fastball and his curveball. So for him, and then the relievers like Griffin, Justin, just being able to mix it up and go after guys, and then protect the short game if they're going to bunt.
Have you tried to implement the changeup a little bit more in the last 2 games?
Yeah, I think I've done a pretty good job of that. I think last week it was a little bit better, but still working on that. That's a work in progress, but I'm happy with where it's coming along.
Thank you, Gage.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Thanks, Gage.